Alright, Cat Gang, here we go. The TDS devs have just given us our first ever showcase video for the update that is arriving tomorrow. Now, they posted this video to their Twitter account a few hours ago. I'm going to go ahead and let that play just in case you guys haven't seen it. If you have seen it, it's about 2 minutes, so go ahead and skip ahead to get my reaction.
The new Entity System update's right around the corner. Take a look at the new additions and enhancements our team has made to the game's performance and visuals. What are we waiting for? Let's get started. To kick things off, we've rebalanced Militant, and his weapon no longer has a reloading mechanic, and his max damage has been buffed. Towers now realistically aim their weapon at enemies. This change will make towers shooting at big or flying enemies look more appealing, as well as on maps where ground towers can be placed on higher ledges, such as the Wrecked Battlefield remake we're showing off right now. This update features the brand new Entity System. There is currently a cap on the number of enemies and units that can be spawned in-game. If we exceed this limit, the game begins to lag severely. The number of military base units spawned is limited as a result of this. We've made significant performance improvements with the new system, and it opens the door to new and more exciting game modes in the near future. While we won't be leveraging all of the new Entity System's capabilities right away, players should notice an overall increase in performance during normal gameplay, especially those on slower devices or connections. You won't be disconnecting from the game as frequently. Imagine this, a chaos mode with 3,000 low health enemies being annihilated by minigunners without any noticeable lag. With the new Entity System, it's possible. Next, I'd like to go over a few of the major bug fixes and quality of life enhancements we've included in this update. Bunny Mortar, Toy Rocketeer, Red Crook Boss, and Blue Crook Boss skins now work in-game. Additionally, the Commander and DJ Booth override bug has been fixed. The Medic's ability now properly clears stuns, and Paintballer's effects have been restored. This is only the beginning of our quality of life bug fix updates. We plan to release more in the near future to address issues that have plagued Tower Defense Simulator from the start. That's all for now. I'll see you soon.
Now I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I'm going to go through this video in my editing program. This will make it easier for me to scan through the video and point out certain things and talk about different sections. I think it's really the best way to make sure that I don't miss anything. So the first thing that I see here, actually I need to scroll back a little bit. Let's go back to the very beginning. This section here where they first start talking about the Entity System. Let's talk about the map because there are several, there's several map remakes. I believe this is the only new map in the game. I'm going to be jumping back and forth between that video and the official TDS Discord server because we do have some more info about the stuff that we see in that update showcase video that they've actually been releasing for almost a year now. So that map at the very beginning of the video is called Sacred Mountains. And you can see here that it was first posted by your adversary on August 26, 2021. I'm laughing because it's literally 6 months ago. And so here are some better pictures of it. It looks kind of maybe Japanese or Asian. I'm not exactly sure where that comes from. I don't want to insult any of my Asian viewers out there, so you guys can let me know down in the comments below what style of architecture this is. As for the map itself, it looks like it's just a very simple winding S shape back and forth. Here's a good aerial view. Kind of short, which could make it challenging. I also don't see a whole lot of cliff placement locations. Probably here, and that's about it because this area right here is definitely ground. And so going back over to the video here, we can see that, yep, there is a military base placed there. And I'm scanning through here to see if we get a better view of the cliff, but it looks like the camera is sitting right on top of this cliff here. Also note that there is a sniper right up here, which is a cliff, this cliff specifically. And that's all I gotta say about the map. I don't see anything weird going on here. We do have some militants in the video, which I will get to, I think here with this next section. Yeah, so right here we have a militant standing on what is not a cliff. You guys let me know in the video yesterday that this is not a cliff, so I'll let everybody know this is actually technically the ground, and this is a trench. Now, this is a mechanic that we haven't really seen in the game so far, where the towers are kind of elevated, but they're not technically on a cliff. Moonbase is the first thing that comes to mind, but that's a glitch. So here we're getting some really good footage of the militant firing without a reload, and I gotta say, this is the most exciting thing about this update great for me. I've always disliked the reload. I just never thought it was necessary, and now we're not only getting rid of the reload, but we're also going to get a buff for the Militant's max damage. So that is really great for that tower. It's the best news we've had since they got rid of John. I don't think the Monkey Man's going to be making a comeback, but at least the tower isn't going to suck as much as it has. Oh, and I do want to point out before we move on, in case you guys don't already know this, that this is the Wrecked Battlefield remake. A couple of weeks ago on February 28th, the game creator Below Natural did release this video with the Militant firing on the Wrecked Battlefield map along with the Hunter. This is a separate video from what's in the showcase announcement video. And I wanted to show you this video because technically this is the first look that we've gotten at how the Militant is going to be firing from now on. Just look at that nice constant rate of fire. That's definitely going to help his DPS. We might actually be able to get 90 Militants to take down the Fallen King now with this new system. I don't know. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to get too crazy, but I am really excited for this. I will definitely be using the Militant Tower more from now on because I actually think this is the best it's going to be since they got rid of the John part of it, you know, where it had the ability and all that. No more monkey noises, but at least there's no more reloading. All right, now moving on to the next part of the video, we're able to see what the towers are going to look like now. There is a new aiming mechanism in the game, which are going to make the towers look up at the giant bosses. You can see this scout about to break his neck. He's going to have to go to the chiropractor after this. Obviously, this doesn't affect the gameplay at all, but it's a pretty cool little visual change as long as it comes with no issues or bugs or whatever, and it's just gonna basically make the towers look up, right? Because everything that we're seeing here for this is just towers on the ground, kind of looking up at either floating enemies or giant bosses. We haven't gotten any footage of cliff towers looking down. So I am kind of wondering if you put a sniper or a ranger or a mortar, I guess mortars don't really look anyway. But if you put something on a cliff where it would have to look down at the enemies, is that how it's actually going to be? Are they actually going to look down? I'm assuming that they will. Now, this is another new feature that Below Natural posted in the Discord back on February 24th. This is when he introduced tower aiming, and he says that towers will look even more realistic and pleasing with visual changes, and then he does this face, which absolutely gives me nightmares. Let's check out that video so you guys can see what we're expecting. So it looks like here he's got his mouse attached to some kind of object that he's then able to flip and flop around in all kinds of different directions, and you can see how the different towers react to that. They are staying locked on to this little circle here. So I'm guessing that the way this is going to work in the game is that the devs have now gone into the enemy models and they put something like this circle on the enemy's head probably. So it's going to look like all the towers are focusing on the head whenever they're firing. But up or down, left or right, sideways, whatever, this is a pretty cool little visual change. Here you can see the Militant up on the ledge looking kind of down at the enemies as he's firing, and it does look like he's shooting at their heads. So I'm gonna guess that's where they put the aiming indicator. So he's gonna be shooting at their faces and just blow their heads right off their bodies. I'm okay with that. All right, now here we're moving into the part of the video that talks about the entity system and exactly how it's gonna work. This is something I want to point out real quick that I think is pretty cool. The enemies, when you kill them right now, most of them just kind of disappear. So now it looks like they're actually going to shatter into a million pieces. So watch this part of the screen right here. You're gonna see some enemies die. You see them, they just kind of burst into little pieces, and those just fade away. All of the enemies are now going to have a death animation, whereas some of them before would, you know, kind of fall over and disappear. That's another nice little visual change. It isn't going to affect the game, but is going to kind of bring it all together so that at least it kind of makes sense. They don't just disappear. Something happens to them. Here's the video of the entity system. Note over here on the left, what this is showing is massive amounts of lag. So when there's a lot of marks spawned in, they pretty much stop moving, as opposed to over here on the right, you've got 1,000 times more marks and there is no lag at all. Everything is moving smoothly. This is really cool because it's going to completely eliminate the military base lag glitch. So with this new system, they should be able to take the Humvees back and make them spawn when you actually place the base, as opposed to putting them in a global queue, which makes them wait. Now, as for the Chaos game mode itself, what do you guys think about this? Initially, I was not super excited for it because I think TDS has a lot of just basic bugs and glitches that need to be fixed to make the game game fun again. But I am expecting this game mode to be pretty entertaining. It kind of worries me that all of the footage that we've gotten so far that shows it off just shows the enemies absolutely wrecking the players. So I'm hoping that when they put it in the game that there is some kind of system that would allow us to actually win chaos mode. Surely it's going to be beatable. I mean, there's no way it could be like hardcore where it's like impossible, right? But I think that maybe at some point they'll give us some kind of new tower that will be able to do more continuous damage, or something like the accelerator that maybe doesn't have a cooldown. I don't know how they would limit it to just chaos mode. Like maybe there's special towers that everybody gets in chaos mode that you can't use outside of it, that'll be able to do a lot more continuous damage, because I don't know how you would ever be able to stop this madness right here. I mean, it's cool that the game is actually able to do this without lagging, but how do you actually play this? Because they're not playing this, they are getting played. Thank you. I just kind of made that one up. So let me know what you guys think about the Chaos game mode down in the comments below. I love how they say, imagine a game mode where 3,000 low health enemies are getting annihilated by minigunners. Bro, these are giant bosses. These are all like not low health enemies. Give me 3,000 abnormal bosses and let's go from there. And before we move on to the last section of that video, I do want to point out that the map that we're looking at here is the Grass Isles remake. You can see some cool pictures of it here. It looks like it's going to expand out a lot more, but it is basically just the same path with a little bit of extra trees. It looks like we are going to get some more cliff space as well, which is always a big plus. And before I forget, I do want to come in here and show you guys the Wrecked Battlefield remake images that are in the Discord. The Militant is standing right about here, and those towers that are on the ground looking at the Fallen King are right back here. So it looks like you're going to be able to place right here along the side of the path, as well as on this elevated area, as well as some cliff towers up here on these raised areas. I really like the trench idea. That's very unique for the game. I haven't seen any other maps that have that. So I'm excited to play on it and see how it actually looks. And one more thing I want to point out before I move on is that there is a new Aero System. This is super cool, man. That was me clapping. Mad props to the TDS devs for doing this. The other arrows were just kind of like plain and boring, right? They would just sit up here at the front and they would kind of blink a few times. These are much more eye-catching. I think they're also going to do a much better job of showing you exactly kind of where the path goes, because they're not just stuck up here at the front. They actually kind of go down the path a little bit. And you can see them in the back here too, doing the same thing going into the exit. That's a nice little visual change that is going to make it look a little cooler. All right, now moving on to the last section of this video. The first thing I will point out here is that this is Crystal Cave. This is a map that was in the game before I even started playing it. So this is a remake of an OG map. And look how far back I had to scroll to find these images. These were first posted on April 26th of last year. So we were told about this map remake almost a year ago. I'm glad it's finally making its way into the game. Here you can see some good images of what it's going to look like. This part of the video is just basically saying that they've done some quality of life updates. The bunny mortar, the toy rocketeer, and so on are no longer broken. So they're actually going to do their job and shoot the bad guys. Wow, amazing. Doge face. But we also have some bug fixes that have been in the game for as long as I've been playing. Here they're saying the Commander and DJ buff override bug has been fixed. That's basically a bug where if you place two DJs or two commanders too close together and their like area of influence is overlapping, it'll bug out those towers and they won't get the buff. The medic properly clears stuns. Okay, that's exciting. Might be testing that out to see how it works. OMG, the paintballer effects have been restored. This is what I've been waiting for with the paintballer. I have not been using the paintballer because it didn't have effects. Now that it has effects, I'm actually going to use it. What? Hold on a second. What enemies is the paintballer killing? Because the paintballer has like a 2 DPS and there's actually enemies that are dying from it. That is incredible. Golden paintballer win. All right, now the last section just says that this is the beginning of their quality of life bug fix update. They're gonna be releasing some more in the future to continue getting rid of the bugs that are in the game. Thank you for addressing the bugs. I feel like there was a long period, like about a year, right, where they didn't really try to fix the bugs. They just kind of kept making new stuff, which like really annoyed me. But it looks like since they've hired some additional developers and people to create new maps and new towers and new skins and all that, they got some help. So we could actually be looking at a golden age of TDS. And look here, this is something else that wasn't even talked about. Now when you do the command or call to arms, there's a different icon around the towers that are being affected down there, and there's like a different, it's almost like rain falling in reverse, right? A different effect showing that those towers are being buffed. The old one was like electricity, and it could actually be kind of confusing to know which towers were being buffed and which ones weren't. So this looks like it might be a little more obvious, but yeah, I think that we could be getting into a period here where the TDS devs are doing regular updates and introducing not only bug fixes, but also new content like new towers, new skins, and new maps and whatnot. So that's really exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. I believe just within the past 30 days, the game has done like 2 updates, and this will be the 3rd one. So good on them. This is what I've been waiting for basically the entire time I've been playing the game, because most Roblox games get updates on a pretty regular basis, at least every month or so, and that's really where the the name Tower Delay Sim came from, right? Because they were always delaying updates and whatnot. So now not only are they not delaying new content, they're pushing a ton of it within a short period of time. So that's very exciting for me. Hopefully you guys are really excited about that, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to add to the game, just even in the next month, because we've got spring coming up here. So we've got Easter. There should at least be a Roblox event for that, right? TDS typically participates in those, so maybe they'll do that as well. And that's really all I got for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, go ahead and smash that like button with your forehead, hit the subscribe button with your big toe, and turn on notifications however you can so you don't miss any of my amazing upcoming content. And I will see you guys right back here tomorrow for my live stream. Don't miss it. Until then, take care, be safe, and never forget what I always say. Peace!